So now your boy Trump is officially in office. He just had his inauguration a couple of days ago. So we already know that he had planned to mass deport and to scrap a lot of DEI programs. And when it comes to government contracts, federal jobs, yada yada. Now, recently he allegedly said that effective immediately, DEI hires at the federal level would be given a leave with pay. They would have to leave their jobs and they were going to be paid. He didn't say where they would end up. He has not said anything about the numbers that would be affected and what races would be most likely affected. So, a few examples of federal jobs are um, administration, uh, engineering, and a few others. You have to look them up. Quite a few jobs. I think educators fall under federal guidelines. Okay. So this is what he is supposedly doing, but he has not given us any details. Also, I'm hearing that communities, especially in California, I specifically heard about California, how the ICE is already out and searching for those to mass deport, and something about the police saying that they will not be helping ICE legally. It's not legal for them to ask somebody if they're legally here, or ask them for identification to prove that they are legally here or something like that. I'm just hearing that they are not supposedly not going to be helping ICE with their efforts. So I'm hearing little stuff here and there, but nothing really, really official for me to make me believe that he is actually doing what he's saying he's going to do. Now, one thing that I think he's already done is he let over 100 men who were in that January 6th incident a few years ago, a couple of years ago or something like that. He let them out of jail. He exonerated them. Okay. So they were the ones who stormed the Capitol and burst windows. They went into certain rooms and scattered things about, just created mayhem there. And I heard, wasn't it a couple of cops who got killed or something like that, or stabbed or something? But yet and still they are free to go. So supposedly that's what he did. Now let's get to what he's saying about the tariffs. This is really going to be a kicker, okay? Now, tariff, that's a tax on imported goods, all right? So he supposedly is supposed to raise the tariff for Mexico and Canada up to 25% and put a 10% tariff above what they already have on China. So we were thinking, I know I was, that those tariffs would hurt those particular countries who were importing their goods into the States. All right. I was thinking that maybe they would have to lay off workers, or we wouldn't have as much as those products as we were getting. That is not the case, because these companies, they're not worried about the raising of tariffs on their goods and services, because when they bring their services here and we come, our buyers go to buy them, they have to pay that 25% and that 10% markup. So what the buyers do is they pass that on to the consumers. Inflation, anybody? Inflation much, anybody? You think the price of eggs are high. You think the price of bread is already high. If this is what's going on and it's being done as it is said it's being done, we're going to look at even significantly higher prices on our food items. Significantly. So you think it's hard now, brace yourself. You're going to be looking for some chickens so you can have your own eggs. I'm serious. You're going to start learning how to plant and at least plant some tomatoes or something like that. It's getting ready to get rough because they just passed those higher prices on to us. And also, it could mean that the gas prices increase. So I don't, I kind of think that now I'm thinking this and I'm kind of hoping this too. I'm thinking that he is saying all of this for the most part, he wants to satisfy his constituency who are mostly very racist. They don't mind losing out if they can hurt somebody else. They're selfish, they're sadistic, and he knows that. So he got a lot of people in corporate positions and high positions that have this same sick racist mindset. So he's appealing to them, but I kind of feel like he might be just appealing to them in words only and not so much intending to move forward with the actions behind it, at least not to the extent. Now, we all know that um, Trump stacked his whole cabinet with all white people. The legislators and all the other branches are now predominantly Republican. One of the major things that they did was, well, it happened when Biden was in office because the Congress and the legislature at that time were becoming more Republican, but they really put some limits, in some cases, some very severe limits on abortion. Now, we of course Trump is a Republican, and people think that he's pro-life. Let me tell you, honey, Trump is the most pro-choice person in the world. If it was him, there would probably be an abortion clinic on every corner. Okay, um, pro Trump is not pro-life at all, but he's got to please his constituency. And anyway, the choice to choose went to the states. But I'm just saying, don't mistake it. The man is not pro-life. All right. So my main concern is where we stand in all of this as a people. When people hear DEI, they hear affirmative actions and stuff like that, and they know that affirmative action was originally just for us, but now everybody can use it. I'm hearing that affirmative action and DEI really helped white women more than they did anyone else. Okay, but they also were open to helping trans people. Some say black women, and definitely other minorities. Not other minorities, because we're not a minority, but minorities such as Indian, Chinese. They're the ones who primarily benefited from DEI. Maybe Africans, we didn't benefit from that stuff like that. So I believe that what we're dealing with and what we have right now will be able to maintain. I believe that we will be okay in all of this, even though a lot of us are kind of scared, insecure about what's next and stuff like that. We will be able to maintain. None of that stuff will be set back. Some of us is going to get set back to an extent, but none of these things were ever meant to truly help us, and they didn't. DI was never for us. Affirmative action was for us. It's not any. It hasn't really been from almost its inception. They started including white women, minorities, gay folk, handicapped. It wasn't meant for all of them, but they benefited. So that wasn't no big beneficial program for us either. We're bootstrap people, but we do still have a lot of against us, especially when it comes to our economic growth. I have seen it here where I am at, where how they are able to redline us on every front. Even if you're out vendor, I used to vendor, and they redlined us out where we were vendoring. So it is true, they do tend to have a hold on and be determined to oppress us economically, because they don't ever want to be us to be independent. That shows through how they destroyed our communities with these freeways, drowning them under man-made rivers and dams, bombing them from the sky, yada yada and so forth. They've done things to us that we know and that we don't even know. So we are still breathing. We're on life support, so to speak, or maybe I should say we're on fluids. They got us on fluids, but we're still standing because, like I said, baby, we are bootstrapped. We'll take a piece of cornbread and some ramen noodles and create a hell of a meal and be able to eat. But yeah, so I'm watching this, and I'm not really not into politics. I cannot stand the political gerrymandering, the lies and the deceptions, them coming back on their word, saying they're going to do something and they do something else, or they change their mind. They did it all just to get the vote. To me, it's just a big facade and a big cloud. It's meant to confuse and mislead and defraud and deceive the American population. So I've never been interested in politics, but right now I'm getting ready to follow this, and I'm going to keep you all abreast as much as possible on what's going on. But you too need to read more. You might want to, if you like me and you don't really watch TV, you got a TV, but you really don't look at it, you use it for videos, or if you get so horribly bored, you turn it on. And if I turn it on, I'm only gonna watch the crime shows. I'm not looking at anything else. But we gotta become newsworthy and look at the news and see what's going on. Read a paper every now and then, because it's just too much happening, y'all. It's too much happening. Thank you all for listening to my videos. Thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe. Shoot, support the channel. I really need y'all to support me in the channel, especially now. I'm trying to grow this channel to bigger heights. I got more to learn as far as how to create videos that really touch and grab the public. But right now, this is where I'm at. So I appreciate you already. Thanks a whole lot. Have a great evening and afternoon, and may God bless and fulfill you and provide you what you want and need in your happy peace.